Everything you're hearing right now is Beatsy. And this. And even this. I'm Liz, and this is Beatsy. Beatsy is our love letter to modular drums. It was inspired by the fundamental building blocks of synthesis. It's not a sample player or a physical model, and it was meant that way. Let me show you what I mean. Let's synthesize a basic tom drum. We'll start with a sine wave. If we add on an amplitude envelope, we can get that really rudimentary drum sound. If we want to be a little bit more realistic, we can also add a pitch envelope onto that. And if we want to be even more realistic to give it some extra character, we can add a little bit of noise at the very beginning to mimic the sound of a stick on the drum skin. These were the methods that we used to make Beatsy sound like Beatsy, and there's so much to show you. Let's take a look at the module. We'll start with the grid. Along the top, we have each piece in the kit: kick, snare, hat, tom, and crash. Along the side, we have the different parameters for each piece in the kit: the timbre, pitch, decay, and level. We can navigate the grid using the parameter encoder just by rotating it. And we can change the value of a given parameter with the value encoder. You can also assign an attenuvert CV to any and all parameters on Beatsy. All you have to do is press the encoder that corresponds to the CV jack you want to use. Green shows CV1 and orange shows CV2. To attenuvert, just long press the encoder that corresponds to that CV jack. Then you'll see this little menu pop up. You can reduce the signal coming in or even invert it if you want to. You can also hit on demand with the hit button. By changing the parameters for each piece, you can get a super wide variety of sounds. We had a lot of fun creating the different timbres on Beatsy. There's actually 3 different kits for each piece. The orange kit, which is acoustic inspired, the blue kit, which is kind of retro lo-fi inspired, and the green kit, which is outer space, alien. All bets are off there. All you have to do is scroll on the value encoder. Now we have the blue kit. Pretty funky. And you'll loop right back to the beginning. Headphones on. I'm using 2 Rossies in LFO mode to modulate different parameters on Beatsy. Now let's explore some of Beatsy's sounds. Let's talk about the inputs. There's one for each piece, except the tom has a second one because it tracks pitch using volts per octave. The hi-hat's a little special because for a closed hi-hat you can send in a trigger, and for an open hi-hat you send in a gate. Now you might have noticed that there's nothing plugged into the inputs of Beatsy, and that's because there's actually a jumper on the back that connects it to Rhythmy, our drum sequencer. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers and happy synthing.